The Trump administration is making waves with its aggressive immigration policies. President Trump, along with key figures like Attorney General Pam Bondi and Border Patrol Chief Michael W. Banks, is taking a hard line on illegal immigration and border security. Recent events, including the high-profile arrest of an MS-13 leader and the controversial use of the Alien Enemies Act, have ignited fierce debate. Trump's actions, supported by his administration, are facing legal challenges and criticism from those who believe they overreach presidential authority. At the heart of the controversy is the Trump administration's use of the Alien Enemies Act to deport individuals deemed threats to national security. This includes alleged members of criminal gangs like MS-13 and Tren de Aragua. The administration argues that these measures are necessary to protect American citizens and maintain law and order. Critics, however, argue that the use of the Alien Enemies Act is a dangerous expansion of executive power and sets a dangerous precedent. Adding fuel to the fire is the public clash between Attorney General Pam Bondi and Judge James Boasberg. Bondi has accused Boasberg of obstructing justice and hindering efforts to keep Americans safe by blocking deportations. The judge, in turn, has demanded transparency from the administration regarding its use of the Alien Enemies Act. This high-stakes legal battle underscores the deep divisions within the U.S. government over immigration enforcement and presidential power. Despite the controversy, the Trump administration remains resolute in its commitment to stricter immigration policies. The recent arrest of an MS-13 leader, facilitated by a new interagency task force involving the FBI, CBP, and ICE, is touted as a major victory. This, coupled with ongoing immigration blitzes and increased prosecutions of migrants and smugglers, demonstrates the administration's unwavering stance on border security. As the legal battles continue and public debate rages on, one thing is clear: Trump's immigration crackdown is shaping up to be a defining issue of his presidency. The recent arrest of a high-ranking MS-13 leader in Woodbridge, Virginia, is being hailed as a major victory for the Trump administration's crackdown on illegal immigration and gang violence. This operation, which resulted in the apprehension of one of the top 3 MS-13 leaders operating within the United States, was the culmination of a coordinated effort by a new interagency task force. This task force, comprised of agents from the FBI, CBP, and ICE, exemplifies the Trump administration's focus on dismantling transnational criminal organizations operating within U.S. borders. The arrested individual, an illegal alien from El Salvador, is believed to have been responsible for orchestrating countless acts of violence and drug trafficking throughout the country. President Trump, never one to shy away from self-congratulation, took to Truth Social to celebrate the arrest, praising border czar Tom Homan as a superstar for his role in the operation. Attorney General Pam Bondi also held a press conference announcing the arrest, emphasizing its significance in the fight against MS-13. The success of this operation can be attributed in part to the enhanced collaboration between federal agencies under the Trump administration. The creation of this new interagency task force, specifically designed to target international organized crime, demonstrates a renewed commitment to dismantling these dangerous groups. By pooling resources and intelligence, these agencies were able to effectively identify and apprehend a key figure within MS-13, disrupting their operations and sending a clear message that the United States is not a safe haven for criminals. This high-profile arrest serves as a powerful symbol of the Trump administration's commitment to eradicating MS-13. The president has repeatedly vowed to bring the gang to justice, and this operation demonstrates that his administration is taking concrete steps to fulfill that promise. The arrest is likely to embolden law enforcement agencies and further fuel the administration's aggressive approach to immigration enforcement. The Trump administration's use of the Alien Enemies Act to expedite the deportation of alleged gang members and criminals has sparked a heated legal and political battle. The act, typically reserved for wartime scenarios, has been invoked by the administration to bypass traditional immigration courts and swiftly remove individuals deemed threats to national security. This move, while celebrated by some as a decisive action against dangerous criminals, has drawn sharp criticism from civil rights groups and some legal experts who argue that it represents an overreach of presidential power. The situation escalated further when Judge James Boasberg of the D.C. District Court issued a temporary restraining order on the deportations, ruling that the administration's use of the Alien Enemies Act in this context was likely unlawful. This ruling came in response to a lawsuit filed by the ACLU and Democracy Forward, who argued that the administration was violating the due process rights of those being deported. Undeterred, the administration has continued to carry out deportations, defying the court order and setting up a showdown between the executive and judicial branches. The administration, represented by figures like Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, has defended its actions, arguing that the president has broad authority over immigration and national security matters. They maintain that the Alien Enemies Act provides the necessary legal framework to deport individuals who pose a clear and present danger to the United States. Furthermore, they have accused Judge Boasberg of judicial activism and have vowed to appeal his ruling. This clash over the Alien Enemies Act highlights a fundamental tension within the U.S. government, the balance of power between the executive and judicial branches. The administration's defiance of a court order raises serious concerns about the rule of law and the potential for executive overreach. On the other hand, the administration's supporters argue that the judiciary should not interfere with the president's ability to protect national security. This high-stakes legal battle is likely to have far-reaching implications for immigration policy and the separation of powers in the United States. The ongoing saga of the Trump administration's immigration crackdown has taken a new turn with a public and acrimonious dispute between Attorney General Pam Bondi and Judge James Boasberg. At the heart of the conflict is the judge's request for the Department of Justice to provide information justifying the administration's use of the Alien Enemies Act in deporting alleged gang members. Bondi has vehemently opposed this request, arguing that the information is classified and that releasing it would jeopardize national security. Bondi, appearing on Fox News, accused Boasberg of attempting to micromanage foreign policy and of endangering the lives of American citizens by demanding access to sensitive information. She argued that the judge's actions were politically motivated and part of a broader effort by the Democratic Party to undermine the Trump administration's efforts to secure the border. Bondi pointed to the recent drop in the Democratic Party's approval rating, attributing it to their perceived weakness on border security. The judge, however, has stood firm, asserting that he needs the requested information to determine whether the administration is properly applying the Alien Enemies Act. He has argued that the administration cannot simply invoke national security as a blanket justification for withholding information from judicial review. The judge's stance has been praised by transparency advocates who argue that the executive branch should not be able to operate in secrecy, particularly when it comes to matters of individual rights and freedoms. The Bondi-Boasberg clash represents a microcosm of the larger debate surrounding the Trump administration's immigration policies. On one side are those who prioritize national security and support the administration's aggressive approach, even if it means curtailing certain civil liberties. On the other side are those who believe that the administration's actions are often illegal and immoral, and that the rule of law must be upheld, even when dealing with complex and sensitive issues like immigration and terrorism. This conflict is likely to continue to play out in courtrooms and in the media, further polarizing public opinion and highlighting the deep divisions within American society.